You called him a fascist.
You
can call him whatever you want, but we can't respond.
He called himself a fascist. He said he was going to be a dictator on day one.
He's on the border. Come on.
He said he was going to be a dictator on day one.
In this video, race hustler Michael Dyson gets triggered after a Republican said this. Okay, so at this point, this topic is getting exhausting because the media just won't stop talking about it. And that is, they keep saying that Trump is personally attacking Kamala Harris. Now, before we get into the video, I'm going to dive into why I believe it really doesn't matter in the end. And that although we could say that he's personally attacking her, you can also make a legitimate argument that they're doing the same. But don't tell this race hustler Michael Dyson that, because if you do, this is how people like him react.
I think I'm entitled to personal attacks. I don't have a lot of respect for her. I don't have a lot of respect for her intelligence. And I think she'll be a terrible president. And I think it's very important that we win. And whether the personal attacks are good, bad, I mean, she certainly attacks me personally. She actually called me weird. He's weird. It was just a soundbite.
A lot of people have been saying very publicly to Donald Trump, his allies, stop with the personal attacks. You have a lot to run on when it comes to the economy. That's what he was supposed to be doing today, but he's not.
We spent 45 minutes talking about the economy, the border, energy, all of those things in the first half of that news conference. And when he gets asked about the personal attacks, when he gets asked about other issues, he answers those questions. But when you look at what he's talking about, whether it was yesterday, whether it's today, he's talking about the price of groceries that people can't afford because of Kamala Harris. He is Kamala, sorry. And I didn't study how to say that. And I missed it up. I understand. My apologies.
Kamala Harris.
I've been doing
Vice
this
President Kamala Harris at that.
But do y'all find it problematic that he attacks her personally? Do you find the ad hominem,
I
ad
do
feminine
wonder
attacks?
about that, Congresswoman. I mean, do you agree with people like Nikki Haley who say, move on from that stuff and talk about the issues that matter?
Look, I'm not going to do any pearl clutching here. I have had people come after me, 2 times a year in primaries and general elections. This is my 3rd cycle. Politics does get personal. And
is it right? Is it right for him to be a misogynist? To direct commentary against.
You called him a fascist.
You
can call him whatever you want, but we can't respond.
He called himself a fascist. He said he was going to be a dictator on day one.
He's on the border.
Come on.
He said he was going to be a dictator on day one.
I'm asking y'all directly, do you find it problematic that this man deploys ad hominem arguments?
Would not ask a woman like me to come and speak on the stage at the Republican convention.
Absolutely, all the time.
He personally called me. He did that.
Individual women are not problematic to a misogynist.
He wants to protect women, by the way. He put IVF into the Republican Party platform.
What he wants to do is grab, dispose,
the Republican Party platform. He wants to protect women who've been raped. He wants to protect children and girls who are victims of incest.
If you're telling me Donald Trump is a hero for women, when the manifest lack of integrity of this man against individual...
Well, at least he knows what a woman is. I'm not even sure that Kamala
Well, grabbing a woman...
Kamala.
But look, grabbing a woman, talking about women in the way he does, I'm asking you directly, when you see him direct such venomous rhetoric against this woman, not principled disagreement, do you find that problematic? And if you don't, you've helped normalize a practice that is vicious and misogynistic, regardless. Women can be misogynistic.
Let me let Congresswoman
I am a woman
answer
who has broken a lot of glass ceilings, and I have fought my way to have a seat at the table, and I wouldn't back someone that I thought was a misogynist, and I fully back Donald Trump in 2020.
All right, I want.
Okay, so very quickly, 3 points for you. Number 1, they can dish it out, but they can't take it. They could call President Trump a racist, a sexist, a misogynist. They even call him the R word, right? They say that he's a dictator, an authoritarian. He's the closest thing to Hitler. They say all these things. They make fun of his tan or his skin color. They make fun of his hair. And I find it funny that the media has been doing this for many, many years. But when Trump goes out there and calls out what is the truth, that yes, Vice President Harris is a radical leftist. Yes, she is from San Francisco. Yes, she is a dangerous liberal. And yes, she is incompetent because she hasn't done what she was supposed to do, what she was tasked to do over the last 3.5 years. Is that personal, or is that just calling out her performance? See, personal to me would be when you're attacking the way someone looks. Point two, they accuse former President Trump of being unprofessional, unable to have a clear dialogue or conversation with people. That's what they accuse him of. But when you watch shows like this, what do you see? You see people on the left constantly interrupting people who are on the right. And what does that tell you? It tells you that the left notoriously is emotional. They get too triggered. They can't allow someone to say what they want to say. They have to interrupt you 3 seconds in. And the third point is the media hears what they want to hear. If President Trump spoke for 90 minutes, and out of those 90 minutes, 86 of those minutes was all about policy, they're only going to pay attention to the 4 minutes. And they're going to highlight the 4 minutes. And their campaign are going to take those 4 minutes and clip them and make it seem like majority of the press conference was personal attacks. So when they accuse former President Trump or his supporters of being crazy, they might want to look in the mirror.
And let me just say this, because this Congresswoman is a wonderful human being, but when you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
Oh, so now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a
BS.
racist.
That is complete
No, you don't have
BS.
to intend racism to
No.
accomplish
You are
it.
intending that I
Your
am
disrespect
racist,
of Kamala
and
Harris
that is
part and
offensive.
parcel of a
Why can't
tradition.
you
It's
just-
disrespect.
Why
It's
can't you just,
offensive,
Congresswoman,
and
why can't you
it's
just,
offensive.
why can't
That
you
is
I'm not calling you a
disgusting.
racist.
No,
I'm
you
telling
are.
you what the
You
practice
are.
is
You
racist.
are. You absolutely
you
are.
just
the
hear what
That
I'm
is
saying?
Let me get
Disrespecting. No, what's disgusting
That
is
is
your
disgusting.
disrespect of her.
Professor.
This gentleman said,
You know what?
I didn't know her name.
Disgusting
He's
to
trying
women
to do
is
it.
her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what a woman is. And if 25 years ago,
White
I
women don't
became-
have the ability to tell black women who paid the price of blood to make this country what it is to tell them they're not real women.
25
They
years
care
ago,
for your babies
25
and
years ago,
respected
I
your
became
humanity.
the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the military college of South Carolina. I
So call her
fought my
name
way
right.
through it.
So pronounce her name
blood,
right.
sweat,
Let
and
me
tears.
actually
So pronounce her name
and
right.
Kamala Harris, if
Kamala,
I were
Kamala. You said
I
this
will
We don't call
say
you Nancy
anything that
Mace.
I want.
It's
Come on,
Kamala.
it's Kamala.
You're doing this
You
on
disrespect-
purpose,
I am
That's
not.
disrespectful.
Just a second.
If-
You can't expect people to
If
respect
a
your
man put
service
on
if
a
you don't
skirt
respect
and walked
hers.
that stage 25 years ago, she
You're a
would have
white
said
woman
she would have
disrespecting a
taken
black
that
woman. That is
achievement away from
problematic.
women.
Professor
That's
Dyson, let me get
disgusting.
Wow, they just get so triggered over her name. And if you were to look back on clips from the media, from people who were on that show, I'm talking 4 years ago, that's how they were pronouncing her name. So because someone mispronounces her name does not equal racism. My name is Devori, but every time I meet someone, you know what they say? Devery. Do I think it's racist? No. What about if they don't even remember my name? Is that racist? No. What if the next time I see them, they get it wrong again? Is that racist? No. So I just think they get too emotional and they get away from the policies. And this is what my main point is right now, is that the left is so triggered because they're focusing on race and gender, and they're not focusing on policy. And you can see how on the other side of things, someone's focused on policy, but they're not trying to hear all that. And point number 2 is when they reach in for the racist card, right? Oh, that's racist, or insinuating racist, or your intent was racist. That's how you know you're not dealing with someone who can critically think. Now, she is on a panel with someone who is a professor of African American studies. So he's a race hustler, okay? Everything is about race when it comes to him. He put out a book based on race. So we knew he was not going to have any common sense. We knew he wasn't going to be able to critically think. We knew he couldn't be in check when it comes to his emotions. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, which is my final point. Debating about policies does not work in the best interest of the media, nor does it work in the best interest of the Democrats, especially Kamala Harris. If they want to get into conversation about personality and whether someone's racist or sexist or misogynistic, they're all for it, because that's what they're used to doing over the past 8 years. And they say that people are exhausted of President Trump. No, they're exhausted of the media talking about President Trump. That's not President Trump's fault. That's the media's fault. The race hustlers like Michael Dyson, they are the issue. They are the problem because they keep racism alive because that's all they talk about. They don't want to actually talk about the real issues. Like, why is it that the black community has the highest abortion rate? Why is it that the black community has 75% of their children being born out of wedlock. He doesn't want to talk about that. He wants to look at Trump. He wants to criticize Trump. He wants to tear Trump down. And he wants to get away from the issues that really matter. That's my mindset. What about you? What do you guys think about Congresswoman Nancy Mace, who goes on there? You know, she spits what the facts are. He gets triggered, melts down, and says what they all say. They pull the racist card every single time. Guaranteed. I want to hear what your thoughts are and more in the comment section below. Thank you for checking out the video today. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel because we speak the truth here. Stay grateful, stay focused, and stay true. Peace.